Hello everybody. Just when you thought I couldn't possibly find any more paintings of ships in Toitū's collection to talk about, we're heading off to sea once more for Wave Riders Volume 4. On the 3rd of July 1861, the steamer Victory left Port Chalmers bound for Melbourne. After setting the ship on course, the captain went below for tea, leaving the third mate in charge until the chief mate came to relieve him. But the chief mate was allegedly drunk, and when the vessel drifted off course and ran aground in a sandy part of Wycliffe Bay, he took much of the blame. While the captain and engineer escaped with a reprimand, the chief mate was sentenced to 3 months hard labour in prison. On the 24th of July, the vessel and its goods were sold. Attempts by the new owners to refloat the steamer failed, so it remained an Otago Peninsula landmark, and the sands where it lay became known as Victory Beach. In January 1863, a new paddle steamer, the Golden Age, began operating on the Otago Harbour. A few days into service, engineer and part owner of the Golden Age, Alexander Lays, was reported missing. It was feared that he had tripped or collapsed and fallen overboard during the night. A search of the surrounding harbour was mounted, but 50-year-old Lays had seemingly vanished from the face of the earth. 15 years later, there was a similar footnote to the story of the Golden Age. The old steamer was in retirement, parked up at the Jetty Street wharf. When the tide receded one morning in September 1878, it revealed the body of a shoeblack named John Gleeson lying nearby. It was assumed Gleeson, who was said to have been in the habit of sleeping on the abandoned steamer, had returned there drunk, fallen from the narrow access plank, and either drowned or suffocated in the mud. About 1884, the Golden Age was stripped of its fittings and broken up. Its wheel was donated to the museum in 1922. This ship, the City of Tanjore, was chartered to bring immigrants to Otago in 1874. Not long into the voyage from Greenock, before entering the Bay of Biscay, the cry of "Man overboard" was heard. A young apprentice had fallen from the rigging. The ship immediately swung hard to port, a life buoy was cast out, and a boat was lowered. The young lad was successfully rescued. Ironically, he deserted the ship upon arrival in New Zealand. Later in the voyage, there was another colourful incident involving an apprentice. When the third mate got sick, the eldest apprentice was temporarily promoted to fill in for him. However, one of the experienced sailors, a big burly Scandinavian, refused to take orders from the apprentice. It ended up in a punch-up. But in true David and Goliath fashion, the apprentice prevailed, thanks to a well-timed uppercut to the jaw, which brought his opponent crashing to the deck. The harbour steamer Iron Age was built in Dunedin and launched in 1876. But the launching didn't go entirely according to plan. The cradles conveying the vessel from the foundry to the water gave way, and the Iron Age ended up lying across railway tracks. A temporary railway line had to be laid to allow trains to go around the Iron Age until the unexpected obstacle could be removed. We're heading off to Samoa for our last story for this episode. It's 1889. The United States and Germany are at loggerheads over control of Samoa, and both have warships stationed at Apia. The British cruiser HMS Calliope, normally based in Sydney, had also been dispatched to replace HMS Royalist in observing the goings-on in Samoa. When a tropical cyclone hits the islands on the 15th of March, there are 7 warships, 3 German, 3 American, plus the Calliope, and a number of merchant ships crammed into Apia's exposed harbour. The Calliope manages to escape the harbour and ride out the storm at sea. The other warships are either beached or wrecked. Around 150 sailors are thought to have perished. So why is this painting here at Toitū? Is there an Otago connection? Well, kind of. Calliope's survival has been credited in part to its powerful, relatively new engines, which had been installed during a refit 5 years earlier, and to the fact that those engines were fed with high-quality coal from New Zealand, which had generated sufficient horsepower for the Calliope to steam to safety. The coal had been supplied by the country's biggest coal producer, the Westport Coal Company, a company that had been founded in Dunedin in 1881 to extract coal from the Buller region, and which now claims some kudos for its role in the miraculous survival of HMS Calliope. Although I'm sure I can still find more pictures of ships in the museum's collection that we could talk about, that's enough for this episode. See you next time, and thanks for watching.